Hi there, my name's Alex and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute big pill plushie. Now the things you're going to need for this project are 2 colours of yarn, a crochet hook to suit, felt and fabric glue, pair of scissors, a needle and a lot of polyfiber fill. For this tutorial I'll be using Portercraft's Blanket Chenille yarn, which is a bulky 5 to 6 weight. I'm also going to pop some suggestions of yarn that you can use in the description, so be sure to check that out. And I'm also using a size 8mm hook. So to start, we're starting with the colour that we're using on the top of our pill, and you want to create a magic ring. Then work 7 single crochets into the magic ring. Now if you're having trouble creating a magic ring, I do have 2 tutorials on my channel. One of them has got a super easy hack that you can follow to create a magic ring, so worth checking out. Now for this project, we're actually going to join to the beginning of every round that we create, so that we're working in complete sort of rows or rounds, not in a continual spiral. So what we're going to do is join to the very back loop of our first single crochet stitch that we created by slip stitching. So that means that we've actually completed the full circle or complete round. And now to create the first stitch in our second round, we're going to go into both loops of the very same stitch and create a single crochet. Now as the pattern calls for 2 single crochets into each stitch space, we're going to create another single crochet in that same space. Now we can tighten up our magic ring just by pulling on that tail carefully. And continue on to round 2 by creating 2 single crochets into each of the remaining stitches around, which will give you 14 stitches at the end of round 2. Now before we continue on to round 3, we want to join to that very first single crochet stitch that we created in round 2. And we're just going to join to the very back loop of that first stitch, then create our first single crochet stitch into the same space but under the front and back loop. So this round is for 1 single crochet, which we've just created, and then 1 increase. And we're repeating that pattern 7 times around. Now an increase again is just simply it's 2 single crochet stitches in the same stitch space. On to round 4, which will be 2 single crochets and then an increase, and repeating that pattern 7 times around, which will give you 28 stitches. Now I won't put in the pattern, but just assume that every time you end a round, you need to join onto the beginning or that very first stitch that you created, and that the first stitch in the following round will be under both loops of the very same stitch. Joining to that back loop, first stitch under both loops. Round 5 is 3 single crochets and 1 increase, repeating that pattern 7 times around, giving you 35 stitches. Round 6, 4 single crochets, 1 increase, repeating that 7 times around, giving you 42 stitches. Round 7 is the last round of our increasing rounds, and we're working 5 single crochets, 1 increase, 7 times a round, giving you 49 stitches. Got a good idea for a pill name, colour or theme? I'd love to hear them. Please leave a comment. Now on to rounds 8 right through to 19. You'll be creating single crochets all around. That's 49 stitches. And I'll see you back after round 19. Enjoying this tutorial so far? I hope you are. If you are, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for some more really fun creative craft content. I've got some fantastic projects planned for you and I'd hate you to miss out. After round 19 you can trim your yarn and we're going to do our colour change. I'm going to show you how to do the best colour change so that you don't see a real obvious change of yarn. So you need to undo your last stitch and the join if you have already joined. Is that last stitch of round 19. I want you to tie the next colour of yarn that you're using to the same yarn tail. Just tie it once so you'll be able to slide the yarn up and down that length. So we're going to create a single crochet. We're back into that last stitch space and pulling through. In this case we've got the yellow yarn, so we've got 2 yellow loops on our hook, and now we're going to pull through the new colour, our white, to complete that single crochet. So that is the most seamless way you can colour change with crochet. Now we're joining into our back loop of the first stitch in round 19. And now we can tie our tails together so that that yarn won't go anywhere. And trim off any excess. So for this round, round 20, we're going to be working just in the back loops. So still just doing a single crochet, but in the back loops. And you can see here it gives you a nice little sort of straight edge in separating those 2 colours, which we want to do. We want to make it look more pill-like, and so it gives us a nice little finish. Create a chain stitch because we are already in our back loop where we've joined. So our first chain stitch will be our very first stitch in round 20. Then we single crochet around just in those very back loops. And now we're back to working with both loops. We're going to join to that back loop first, and for rounds 21 right through to 32, it's single crochet under both loops all the way around, which is 49 stitches per round. Time to add some fibre fill, and believe me, your pill is going to take a lot of fibre fill. What I like to do is buy a 2 pillow pack from my local Big W store, which is going to save me about $10 for the same cost it would be to go to a craft store and get my polyfibre fill. On to round 33, which is the first of our decreasing rounds. So we're going to create 5 single crochets and then 1 decrease, and repeat that 7 times around, giving you 42 stitches. Now to decrease, it's actually quite easy. What you're going to do is pick up the very front loop of the next 2 stitches. So popping that hook under the very front loop, and the next stitch along under that front loop, yarn over, pulling it through those 2 loops, yarn over and through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. And what that does is it's combining 2 stitches into the 1 stitch. So 5 single crochets, and I'll show you that again. Picking up the front loop of the next stitch, front loop of the following stitch, yarn over and through, yarn over and through the 2 loops. For round 34, you'll be working 4 single crochets, then 1 decrease, repeating that 7 times, giving you 35 stitches. Round 35 is 3 single crochets, 1 decrease, 7 times round, giving you 28 stitches. Hit that like button yet? I hope you have. For round 36, you'll be creating 2 single crochets and 1 decrease, 7 times round, bringing you down to 21 stitches. Now time to add some more fibre fill, really pack it in there. It's our last chance to get your hand right into that pill and fill him up to a really soft, spongy consistency, so go for it. And now that your pill is filled with fill, it does make it a little trickier for the final rounds that you're going to create. But for round 37, it's 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, 7 times around, which is bringing it right down to 14 stitches. It is a little tricky. You're going to try and keep that fibre fill away from where you're working, but I know you can do it. And on to round 38, which is the very last round of your pill. You're going to be working 7 decreases, including that very front loop of the joining stitch. Now it's a little tricky because your pill is very full of fibre, but just work slowly and carefully around, decreasing the stitches right down to 7 stitches. Now when you've completed your 7 decreases, you can trim off your yarn, just leaving enough of a tail that you'll be able to close up the hole and hide that excess. Pull the tail through the last loop that you had on your hook. And I'm just going to pull through the tail through every one of those last 7 stitches that you had created, Now just through the very outside loop, and we're going all the way around, doing all 7. So what this actually does means that we'll be able to pull on that yarn tail at the end and it'll draw the hole closed. I'm going to pop a little bit more of the fibre fill in there because there's a little bit of a gap that I've left from where I was working around. So just topping that up. Now pull on the tail, and I'm using a crochet hook to do this, but you could also use a needle just to hide the tail through the fibre fill, just hiding that in there so that it won't come undone and you can't see it. And once you're happy that it's all hidden, you can trim off any excess yarn. Time to add our pill's face. Now that joint, I'm just putting towards the back of the pill, and I'm going to add the face to that front section. Now I've got the chill pill on the left and the happy pill on the right. I've already got a really large chill pill, so I'm going to be making mine a happy pill. I've cut out some felt for the eyes and some little highlights, already stuck those on in place, and little heart cheeks. I'm just laying those out to make sure I'm happy with the size and the positioning, and putting that next to my chill pill, making sure they match and look cute together. So when you're happy with the position of your felt features, you can glue those on with fabric glue. Now I like to use either sewn or felt features for the large plush because you want them to be really soft and squeezable. Yay! Just how super cute are these big pill pillows? And the little pill plushies too. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video and have been inspired to make your own pill plush. Please show your support by hitting that like button and consider subscribing to my channel for instant access to fun and creative project tutorials. I'd love you to join me on this journey. Thanks again, be safe, positive, and as always, stay awesome.